Do you want to do introductions?
Yeah, just to make sure we have it captured that what various people are doing. I'm John McKay. I'm the lame duck co-chair of the Southwest Common Council, and we're trying to get up enough of a membership and participation so that we have other people who are interested and willing to pick up the baton and run with it.
Oh.
Lori, if you want to go next.
Hi, I'm Lori. I'm the branch manager at Phyllis Wheatley Library. Currently working part-time on job share, and we're working on plans hopefully to get the library reopened soon.
Okay. Bonnie?
Yeah, Bonnie Mayer from Cornhill.
And Eric?
Hi, I'm Eric Stevens. I live in the 19th Ward, but I'm also here on behalf of Common Ground Health. I'm a parent engagement specialist, really working to improve health outcomes within marginalized communities.
Okay. And Eleanor?
Eleanor can't.
Can you hear us, Eleanor?
It might be your headphones.
I don't know. Headphones aren't working. Okay. John McMahon is with us in the shadows there. You're going to have to put shades on those windows, John, so we don't have you so backlit one of these days.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll get right on that just for these meetings. I was thinking of redecorating my whole house.
We need to be
John McMahon, Southwest Neighborhood Service Center.
Hey, John, I have a question for you. I'll put it in the chat. But don't leave before my question. Okay, Eleanor Coleman, I'm your scribe for the evening. And Rotary Southwest rep.
Right.
So do you want me to start with the Rotary Southwest report, which is on the agenda next?
That was the first thing we had on there, yeah.
Okay. So
I'm sorry, just a second. Who is DMD there? I don't know.
Oh, Rawson Duckett. He is the guy that runs Grow Green, the greenhouse Thumacree Way. All right. Rotary Southwest is still active. We meet twice a month. I will put the Zoom links in the minutes. We meet the first Thursday at 5:30 and the third Thursday at 8 a.m. The proposed projects, well, I'll tell you about the projects that are going first. A survey is going out to all the restaurants. John DeMott and Chris McDonald put together a food map for the Southwest, and a survey is going out to all of them to ask how can we best help build your clientele, help keep people coming to your store. We're looking at, we should have him mute. Can you have Eric mute? Or can you mute Eric? You're the host.
Yes, I'm sorry. I can do that.
Ah, okay. You heard us.
He has loud pockets.
Yeah.
So the surveys are going out, and then what we're doing is trying to see if we can't get like coupons or something to neighbors to encourage them to purchase there. We'll be using the Rotary Southwest Facebook page to advertise everything that's going on. The people that are doing that are David Culleton from the laundromat, Stella Wang from the U of R. She has one of her classes in community engagement working on it. And Rose, who is part of putting together Taste of the Islands, and she will be connecting to all the Jamaican restaurants. The other project we had going and still have going is the face mask project. I realize face masks are being sent to all the homes, but there's a lot of gaps besides homes. And so we got 100 from Rotary Northwest, and we've been giving those out. Mostly Dave Cullerton has been doing that at Laundromat at Arnett, to customers, to people that come by, the businesses in that area. He has about 20 left, and we're going to keep resupplying our supply because we want to make sure that they're available to the restaurants we're working with also. So those are the two projects that are underway. Two proposed projects for today were, one is to have general litter cleanups in particular spots. Like, we won't be having clean sweep more than likely. So can we do individual cleanups and connect in some way? There's actually a computer app called Literati, and you can document the litter that you pick up and kind of be in competition. And it actually is something that's all around the world. But we're looking at doing something individually and then just kind of like reporting out where we're doing it, maybe sending in pictures. If we do that, we could make a collage just so that people know that we're out there and we're doing something. And litter is going to be, it's already in some areas an issue. So that's one project. The other project is with School 29. They have two gardens. One is a flower garden on the corner of Kirkland and Kenwood. And it's got flowers and a blessing box, and it's an attractive garden. John's going to be bringing huge butterflies to put out there. And so we're going to help with that garden, but there's also a vegetable garden they want to make behind the school. And that does have water. So, and Joe Baldino is very active in Rotary Southwest, and he's very excited to have both of these gardens working, but he's really excited about the vegetable garden in particular, because that stuff can be used for the blessing box. And I think that's it. Any questions? Okie dokie. We're on to greenhouse.
All right. So I'm Rawson Duckett, the farm manager of Grow Green Rochester for the last, this will be my 5th season, I think, at this point. And just a little bit about the greenhouse in case anybody doesn't know about it. We're a community garden that was actually established 10 to 15 years ago by Eleanor. And I kind of just been trying to keep going with what was originally started. So we've been working with the Southwest Area Neighborhood Association and their kids after school and during the summer, as well as leaving it open as much as we can for the community for education as well as community days. We can teach about what we do. People can take that knowledge and bring it home with them. But anytime we have extra produce, we either give it right out to people. We too have a blessings box, and that's quite often filled as well. And so, yeah, so this is my 5th year. And I guess to get into it, we found out, well, I'll start it actually back last November. We were contacted by the board and we had a meeting pertaining to possible sale of the lot that the greenhouse and the community gardens are on. And we were asked if we were able to come up with $18,000 of revenue in a given season. Otherwise, they would be thinking of selling that space instead. So me and my partner, Sarah Denham, made an email, kind of let them know it wasn't that feasible. We pretty much are community run. We even donate and volunteer our own time. We're not paid by SWAN. So we basically said it wouldn't be possible to come up with that figure. However, we do work with the U of R and some other places that can help us with grants. Not that it's a sure thing, but it does help. And we also had some people at that time who were possibly interested in raising some funds and possibly getting, the $18,000. And we proposed that to them with the thought of maybe we could buy that land and keep it as is, still work with SWAN, still work with the community, and keep it, except now instead of part of SWAN, it would be its own entity. The next day we got an email, and it was basically a short email stating that they didn't want any outside proposals other than to see if we could in fact raise that $18,000, and that they would contact us within the week. And then we had no contact since then, which was last November. And then, I don't know what day it was. I think three weeks ago, to the day, Sarah had went and was doing the daily watering. She's been going almost every day for the last couple months. And there was spray paint from RG&E, which we've encountered before. But the bigger issue was they had white spray paint with flags that said building corner in several different locations. And we hadn't been contacted. So we tried to make several phone calls. Sarah made a phone call and got in contact with a construction company. And they had stated they didn't know we existed. They thought the people who did take care of the garden, they thought they knew about it. And they were very apologetic. They were, I would say disheartened a little bit by it maybe. So they were very helpful. But come to find out, the next day they would be doing some preliminary digging, which would be to see what kind of sediment or rock was in that location, to see how much of a building they could progress with, if the soil and everything could hold the weight of the building. So then that day, that Friday, they came and did their digging, and we still haven't had any contacts since. I met with Jamon Alexander, who was the I'm forgetting his title at this point.
Past executive director.
Thank you. So he stepped down back in October. And that Thursday that we found out, he actually drove to the greenhouse location, and I had happened to still be there with Sarah, and we had a conversation, and he said that he wasn't too aware of the timing and when and how things were going down, but he said he too was blindsided. And yet we still haven't had much contact since, other than I've gotten a phone call from the construction company, Rochester Management, and they said that they have 2 lots right around the corner that have houses on them currently, that they have plotted out to move the garden, and they're thinking essentially the greenhouse. With my first drive-by, I'm not sure how much of a space there is for a greenhouse. We might be able to do a smaller one or something. But again, that was a week and a half ago, and I still haven't had much contact. We do have some neighbors who have reached out right around the corner, who have some lots that they own that are empty with some utilities. So we're going to try and move forward as best as we can with potentially both locations. And if one doesn't work out, we'll go from there. But it's still early. We still haven't heard much. But as far as timing, we have until, I was told, September, October before they really start planning on going through with things, if in fact they can and will be. So I know that was kind of a lot at once, but we still unfortunately don't know much, and I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Have you been in touch with, what's his name, Woody, is it? Woody Hammond from...
Not since November.
Apparently he's representing SWAN these days, but I haven't talked to him yet. I don't think I have a phone number for him, but he was invited to this meeting.
We had several news stations reach out. In fact, the way that I found out from it was Spectrum News reached out and said, we saw the post on Facebook. And my first internal thought was, what post on Facebook? Because I hadn't even talked to Sarah. And so I said, give me an hour. We're still trying to figure out details. And then, I'll call you back. But several news stations haven't had a chance to get a hold of Woody. From what I understand, the construction company hasn't heard much from Woody. And what was really surprising to me and Sarah was they called Woody the president of Zion Hill. And as far as I knew, he was the board member of SWAN, or the vice president of the board of SWAN, and he was a parishioner of Zion Hill. So then to hear that he was the president from the construction company raised a few red flags, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know too much about what's going on there. Last month I had talked with Viola Curry, who's over at what's the name of the Montgomery Center, and she was making room for two people from SWAN that were on the board on SWAN to come over and set up offices at Montgomery Center. Then I was hoping she'd join us last month, but she wasn't able to. She didn't have a computer at home, and somehow the one at the office didn't work for her. I talked to her today, and mainly trying to get her to join, and she might have joined by phone if she was going to, because she didn't have a means for joining by computer. But hopefully she's gotten a computer at home now, and I'm hoping we can talk her through getting some internet service so we can get her more functional and connected, because this is going to last for a while, and it would be nice if she was really in the loop on things. She's been involved with Montgomery Center for ages, and so anyways, we'll see how that works out. See, there was also a guy from the greenhouse south of here in Leroy. Eleanor, do you recall who that was? I know, I think I sent him.
Yeah, Paul Watson.
Yeah, Paul Watson.
He actually was part of the initial startup of the greenhouse, provided workers to help erect the greenhouse. He worked very closely with Maggie Carter. So he provided workers, and he also provided plants. Really very supportive. And I guess he expressed interest and wants to be connected.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to make that connection.
All right, I'll make sure that we send you his contact information.
Thank you.
What Maggie's doing these days. So, okay.
I'm muting so I can eat my carrots.
Oh.
Without disturbing.
Keep us hungry. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta go soon.
Is there anything else on the greenhouse that anybody wants to bring up or ask, or no? Have you heard anything more relative to SWAN, John, as to what their presence is in the community?
It's very faint. I've heard that, and I know that, and I know that Jamon was gone a while ago. People have stepped up. I've got some of the names, and I know I think Pat Jackson was still involved with them to a degree. So, but I was going to say, Rawson, if you want to shoot me an email, basically, would just kind of sum it up what you just said. I know I can pretty much. I think I can definitely find out what's going on. I know we've had meetings with Zion Hill and with Peggy Hill over in Norton Village going back, years with this. So we have a foundation then where we can find out, and definitely if there's any construction that goes on, you're going to probably want a temporary spot. Even if you're going to wind up on the roof, they need to build a building first. So if you need a temporary spot near there, we can certainly find you a city lot. I think if we can look at it. If you want to actually start looking for them, the city's website has a GIS application for vacant lots, so you can look just to see. Possibility might be the extension of that Kirkland Kenwood lot that Eleanor was talking about, because that's like a triple lot, I think, and about half of it is being used. So I know at one time they were talking about putting food in there. Might be a good fit for a temporary anyway. But shoot me an email and we'll get together on it.
Yeah, I was just thinking that would be fantastic if the kids had basically a year-round place that they can look at things growing. That would be an excellent educational addition to the school.
And you'd have the support of the principal.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Before I got into the greenhouse itself, that was kind of my mission, to find ways to be able to help or get into places like that. So when I was asked originally to help out with the greenhouse, I was more than happy. And that's kind of my biggest concern, is the impact that it can have for kids and families in the neighborhood. So if that can work out, I would love to, start that in whatever capacity we can.
Yeah, that's we've got an education committee meeting next Wednesday, and Joe is usually joining us on those. So if you get a chance to join us at 6 o'clock on Wednesday on Zoom, I'll send you the link just in case you can join us.
I'll make myself free. Yeah.
You know what? That would be a good education item. Agenda item, is putting that on because we're going to need creative ways to do education over the summer. Cuomo just sent out a notice that there will be no indoor classes, face-to-face classes until September, and then it'll be reevaluated. But we need to understand that there are many, many children, and Joe Baldino was talking about it, that are struggling with online learning, that they don't have the resources or the capacity to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that would be a real good combination of things, and that also Andy Winnicorn, who I spoke to a little bit earlier today, he was going to try to join us, but he wasn't sure if he was going to get home soon enough. He made some of these beautiful butterflies that are probably about this size, that you can put on a stake, and the intention was to put those in the butterfly garden. He was happy that the Southwest Common Council managed to play some role in trying to keep his store over at the Bull's Head area where it is, you know, because they were talking about possibly tearing it down for the renewal. So he was thrilled and had those butterflies made in his shop and worked with some of his folks to do some beautiful painting design on them. So we've got that to put up, and it'll be good to have that much more presence there so they don't disappear any sooner than necessary.
Agreed. And if you need help putting them in, let me know.
Yeah, okay, good.
So I just got to say, before we go any farther, if I'm okay, I'm gonna head off and go pick up my daughter.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I really
Ross.
appreciate your covering this information for us.
And I'll be in contact. Thank you so much.
Okay.
You got a thumbs up from Eric.
Bye.